Welcome to PTA Reflections 101 for the 2017-2018 school year. This year's theme is Within Reach. In this webinar, this webinar is presented by Lauren Murphy, Cultural Arts Director for the state of Illinois. During this presentation, you are welcome to send questions by typing in the chat box located on the right side of your screen. We will have time at the end to answer your questions. Today, we are going to learn about the Reflections program and how you can help provide our students with a wonderful opportunity. Unleashing students' artistic talents. This is broken down into 6 parts. Our first part is Start the Arts. Then we will move on to organizing and planning your program, promoting reflections, organizing your art and setting up judging, celebrating, and then wrapping up your program. First up is Start the Arts. Did you know that PTA Reflections was founded in 1969 by Colorado PTA President Mary Lou Anderson? It is one of our nation's oldest and largest student-recognized programs in the arts. Participants in the art program, like PTA Reflections, play critical roles in student success and in the school and beyond. PTA Reflections has been a valuable tool and strengthens school community partnerships. National PTA developed the national standards for family school partnerships to serve as a framework for thinking about structuring and assessing family engagement throughout your Reflections program. Each year, PTAs across the nation engage nearly 300,000 students and their families in arts education at 8,000 plus schools each year. Students reflect on a common theme and create original artwork in literary, visual, and performing arts. Use the National Standards for Family School Partnerships as a framework for thinking about structuring and assessing family engagement throughout your program. Starting your program. You can register your PTA's Reflection program from July 1st through January 1st at pta.org/reflections. Download your Reflections toolkit at illinoispta.org/reflections. I know there's been some technical difficulties with the website. We are working on it. I have forwarded missing information to the tech department, and they will have that up as soon as possible. If you're looking for additional opportunities for PTA involvement in the arts, we encourage students to participate in the Theme Search contest. You can find that in the Reflections toolkit. Theme searches are submitted by students, so every theme that we have used has been submitted by a student. And the deadline for Theme Search contest is November 1st. So that can be emailed to me if the students want to apply. You can also apply for a Mary Lou Anderson Arts Enhancement Grant. Applications will begin in January of 2018, and the deadline will be March of 18. Grantees will be announced in the summer of 2018. You can explore other national PTA arts and education resources at the website. Pop quiz. Where is the first place you should go for information on how to register your PTA's Reflection program and receive program materials, deadlines, and detailed instructions? Your school website, state PTA website, or national PTA website? And the answer is B, your state PTA website. Next up is organize and plan your program. We have 7 categories, which are dance choreography, film production, literature, music composition, photography, visual arts, and special artists. Our age divisions include primary, which is pre-K through 2nd grade, intermediate, 3rd grade through 5th grade, middle school, 6th grade through 8th grade, and high school, 9th grade through 12th grade. Special artists is for students with disabilities. There is no division for any grades. It's all grades. Dance choreography is the art of creating movement. The choreographer may be a performer or one of the performers, but the choreographer does not have to perform in their entry. In film production, it is the process of making a film. The producer is not required to appear in their film, but if the student chooses to, a camera tripod may be used. All screenwriting, directing, camera, filming, and editing must be done by the student producer. Literature is the art of writing. The author is the person who expresses their thoughts and ideas through the use of words. Authors submit literary work either handwritten or typed using grade-appropriate grammar, punctuation, and spelling. Music composition is the process of creating a new piece of music. The composer is a person who expresses their own thoughts and ideas through the use of sound. The student composer may submit an entry performed by an individual or by a group, and they can make use of a sound library generated performance of a composed score. The student composer are not required to perform their composition, but middle school and high school students are required to include score notations, either traditional or a tablature. Photography is the process of creating an image. The photographer is a person who captures their own thoughts and ideas with a camera by focusing on objects using various lenses, filters, and light sources. Photographers may demonstrate the use of photographic techniques conventionally or digitally. Visual arts includes many forms of art that are visual in nature. The artist is the person who captures their own thoughts and ideas to create a visual piece of art. Accepted forms include both 3D and 3D works of art, such as ceramics, collages, drawings, and sculpture. Now, this is new to Illinois PTA this year. We are making it, the state, it will be accepting those submissions. We're leaving it up to each individual PTA, council, district, region to decide whether they want to accept those entries. So if you have a student that wants to do 3D art, you need to check with your local PTA if they're going to accept it, and then double check with your council, district, or region if they are going to accept it, because we'd hate for them to do all the work and then not be able to move up the food chain. And our last category would be the Special Artist Division, which offers modified rules and guidelines to ensure that every student has a chance to be a part of the PTA program. Special artists should follow the general rules and guidelines outlined in the arts category rules. The accommodations in general should be both specific and limited to that student's disability. The allowable things are, given the diverse range of physical and mental disabilities, it would be impossible to outline specific accommodations for each and every disability. So the following is a general list of allowable accommodations. The Special Artist Division will not be divided by age or traditional school grades. The use of adaptive technology is allowed, and all submissions must be solely created by the special artist. However, a parent, teacher, or other adult may assist the artist with typing, holding a camera, whatever their disability needs them to have assistance with. What they're not allowed is student assistants must never be involved in the artistic process, which is developing the artist statement, doing the choreography, making their suggestions, helping write music lyrics, adding to a storyboard. It has to be the sole property of the student. looking for ways to recruit volunteers for your reflection program. You want to recruit a PTA Reflections Committee group. You should consider parents, student leaders, school staff, as well as community partners. Announce planning meetings, ask school leaders to make recommendations and extend personal invitations to people that you think that would be good for that. Assign specific tasks to volunteers without requiring their attendance at planning meetings, like assisting with collection entries, perhaps being a judge, and setting up a celebration event. Provide a smooth transition for your year by recruiting a co-chair for the following year to follow in your footsteps so they know what to do when they take over. Consider professionals with demonstrated skills in literary, visual, and performing arts. Good places to go would be your community college, professors, librarians, newspaper reporters or editors, graphic artists, professional photographers, museum curators, symphony musician or band director, dance studio instructor, community officials, school leaders who have studied the arts. Okay, pop quiz. Which volunteers should you ideally choose to review student entries? Should it be the school principal with no formal art training? Reflections committee chair with art experience? Or individual with former art experience and training? Your answer is B, the people that you have recruited for your reflections committee with art experience. Those are the ones who should be judging your events. Promoting reflections. Woohoo. Okay, preparing and distributing program materials. You can visit the Illinois PTA website for rules and promotional materials. The Illinois website is illinoispta.org. Illinois spelled out. Okay. Okay, you want to distribute official program rules and student entry forms. This can get kind of hairy when if you want to do it for every kid in the building. So if your school has like an online like Teacher Ease or Facebook page or your school website, just have them download them onto those and then let your parents know that they can get on there to get those forms. Include submission instructions and deadlines. All right, and we want to encourage all students participate, including those with disabilities. Students with disabilities have two ways to enter. First way is through the special artist category. They receive accommodations and assistance from an adult. The students are recognized and awarded prizes as part of that division. The other way is they can enter in the regular grade division, most closely aligned to that student's functional ability. Then students will be recognized and awarded prizes as part of the general student population without regard to their special needs or challenges. Promoting reflections for the whole school community. Host an assembly to introduce your categories. You can do this through morning announcement, hanging posters, and posting information on your websites. You want to get your staff involved. You might want to meet at a staff meeting or individually with your staff members to let them know about the reflection program and why it is a good program for their students and how it encourages learning in language and mathematics and other parts. It's a good program. And then they can also help plan your award ceremonies as well and put their input in. And you should definitely ask community members to help you out. They're a great source for judges. Usually they don't always know the students, so that's always a good thing. You can ask businesses for recognition donations and media coverage and posting on the website. You can create posters by going to pta.org/reflections to download a changeable poster so that you fill in the information that is pertinent to your building. Promoting Reflections Pop Quiz. Which examples are best practices for promoting reflections? Appoint student leaders to make classroom announcements and hang posters. Explore with teachers how the reflection theme may relate to existing lessons and activities. Network with businesses and cultural organizations to expand student prizes and recognition opportunities, or all of the above. And that would be definitely all of the above. You want to do all those things. Organizing, art, and setting up judging. Okay, you want to familiarize yourself with the program rules. It's very, very important for each category. There are certain things in those categories that if you're not familiar with them can cause problems later down the road. And then you want to review your entries for qualifying for qualifications. If necessary, address student ineligibility. A lot of times you can correct these problems before they get moved on to the next level. A lot of times, common reasons for ineligibility would be student entry form is missing information. That's like the #1 reason. There's missing a parent signature. There's too many words in the student artist statement, or there's not enough words in the student artist statement. I know one of the rules is their piece has to have a title. I can't tell you how many times I've had people titled. It's like, I'm sorry, you guys got to come up with a title, otherwise I can't send it on. Entry does not follow all the rules for an individual or category. #1 for photography is that the piece is too big. It has to be 11 by 14 and no bigger, and that is including any matting that is around the photograph. So some people like to do a collage of photos and they put it on a big poster board. That would be not allowed. So you would either have to contact that family student and ask them if it's okay if you can move their piece to the visual arts category where that is allowed. But photography, it has specific dimensions, and yeah, that's been an issue in the past. You want to be sure that you're conducting blind judging. It's very important where judges do not see artists' names, especially where judges may know a student. You want to provide your judges with the judging guideline, which you can find in the toolkit, and scorecards so that they can record their scores. Assign awards to all qualifying entries. This should be based on interpretation of theme, which is 20 points. Artistic merit and creativity is 10 points. And the mastery of their medium is 10 points. Interpretation of theme is how closely the art communicates the theme based on the artwork itself and the artist statement. That artist statement is so important, and I mean it's half their score. Artistic merit and creativity is how creative and original the artwork is and its conception of the theme and how it is presented. And your mastery of medium is the level of skill demonstrated in the basic principles, techniques of that artistic discipline. If you get to a point where you are looking at a group of students that may have a tie, you would want to use the interpretation of theme points as your tiebreaker. If one student has a higher interpretation point value, they are the one that moves on. If you have two students that across the board, all of their scores are exactly the same and they're tied, then something that I instilled in my program was when I had my judges do their judging, I had them go back and without looking at their scorecards, I just asked them to pick their favorite piece and then go down the line first. What's the next favorite, next favorite, next favorite? And then we numbered it. And then if there was a tie where the score was exactly the same, we would use that judge's rating as to what they liked the best, and then that was the piece that would move on. So because something, and that has happened in the past, that we have had to go all the way down to that judge's lineup. All right, pop quiz on organizing art and judging. The judging rubric includes 3 criterion: interpretation of theme, artistic merit, and mastery of medium. In the case of a tie, the entry that scores higher on interpretation of theme receives more recognition. True or false? And that would be true. All right, section 5, celebrating your reflections program. Ideas for recognizing students. You should host a PTA reflection celebration event, even in your building. It could be anything. You know, you could display artwork in the cafeteria or the gym, at school board meetings. You could even do it at a city council meeting, public library. If you have an area in the public library where they do special exhibits, those would be great places to showcase the work. Announce awards and recognize in your school newsletters or on the websites. And exhibit artwork in community art galleries or other public spaces like the library. And you should feature students in local newspapers if that's something that you want to do. Consider social media outlets as well. If your PTA has a Facebook page, it'd be a great place to introduce those students and their accomplishments. Okay, here in Illinois, we have Spotlight. This is our state recognition. It is a free event held in the spring for children of Illinois and their families to recognize student achievement in the arts. We have workshops that students can sign up for in visual arts, performing arts, literature, develop and feed their creativity. It is at Millikan University in Decatur. Last year we introduced a drum circle, which I heard students that they really enjoyed that one. And we also did a theater class. That was the first time we did that. And I know a lot of the older kids really enjoyed that one as well. So we keep trying to refine our classes and with feedback from participants and try to give them skills that they're looking for. At the national level, they award outstanding interpretation. There is 1 winner per art category and 1 in special arts division. Then there's the award of excellence. There are 3 winners that receive this award in each art category and 1 for special artist. Awards of merit are the next 5 top scores per age division and for each age category, or for each arts category. And then any student that advances to the national round receives at least an honorable mention. Usually they will receive their awards in the mail in July. Celebrating. How can you recognize students and announce awards? Host a reflection celebration event to honor awardees and exhibit artwork. Announce awards in print and online. Showcase students and their work at PTA and at school board meetings, or all of the above. And of course the answer is all of the above. And we are finally up to wrapping up. You guys are almost done. Recognizing partners and volunteers. You need to make sure you guys are sending thank yous to your judges. You might consider sending handwritten notes, gifts, certificates of thank you. You know, they're helping you out. They're spending their free time doing this for you. You really need to make sure that you are thanking those volunteers. Students who entered, as well as students who helped to promote or administer the program. You want to thank them. PTA and community volunteers, school personnel, can't do it without your teachers and administration, so make sure you're thanking them. The judges, and if you had donations from community partners, be sure you're sending them thank yous as well. You can use the acknowledgement letter to thank volunteers and community partners for donations. You can find that in the PTA toolkit. Returning student artwork. Artwork is returned as follows. Non-advancing to state judging. Original pieces should be returned to the student as soon as possible after local and regional PTA recognitions. Non-advancing to national judging. Those pieces should be returned to the students as soon as possible after the spotlight event at Millikan University. And pieces that advance to national will be part of a traveling gallery for 1 year and then returned to the student's local PTA. Artwork is submitted electronically or not returned. Those are like your films and music that they won't be returned. Yeah. So reporting participation. Report student participation in program success from September 1st to March 1st at pta.org/reflections. National likes to hear how many students participated, so you can give your numbers, you can tell them the things that you did, how many students participated. They're always looking for those feedback. For each division, you're going to enter the total number of participants and in what category. Select true statements regarding your program success. And then you want to evaluate your program, get feedback from your team, from your students, administrators, teachers, and see what worked, what didn't work to refine your program. Wrapping up pop quiz. All of the following tasks are important to finalizing your reflections program. Thank volunteers, return and advance student artwork to the next round, report participation, and evaluate your program. True or false? And it's true, you want to do those things. All right, congratulations, you've completed Reflections 101. You can go for more information or download free toolkit from pta.org reflections. You can also look at onevoicepta.org. They post all kinds of things there. Or visit the Cultural Arts Facebook page at Illinois PTA Cultural Arts. And if you have questions, feel free to email me at lauramurphy@illinoispta.org. Okay, any questions? We are open. Okay, how many pieces advanced to state? Well, I just got my membership numbers today, so I do not have those broken down yet, but I will have it here in the next day or so, and I will have Ashton upload that on the Reflections website. And if I have an email from you, I'll be sure to forward that on to you as well. If you want that information, just let me know. How many pieces advance from state to national? Okay, from state to national, we get to advance 1 piece per category per age division. So 1 for primary, 1 for intermediate, 1 for middle school, 1 for high school for each thing, dance, film, literature, music. Yeah. Total is 30 pieces. Oh, no more questions?
Yeah.
Nope, we got one more. How do you decide deadlines? Do we set our own? Okay, deadlines. Deadlines for state is January 20th. districts and regions should bring their advancing pieces to the state board meeting, which I will be at, and I will take it from there. I would say a good rule of thumb is if you are a council and you are advancing to a district or a region, you need to allow yourself at least 2 weeks, even a month deadline before to set yours. You need to check with your region or district and find out what their date is first, and then count back. How much time do you need to set up for judging? Do you need 2 weeks? Do you need 3 weeks? Do you need a full month? Then if you're a district going into a council, your council is going to set up their own deadlines for those locals. But yeah, everybody else, you need to talk to your region or your district and find out what their due date is. I know in Southern Region, it's traditionally been Thanksgiving weekend. That way, if there's any stragglers, we have given them, if people say, oh my gosh, I can't get it to you, I usually give them until December 1st, but I like to have most of those because you have to give your district and regional people time to create scorecards and set up judging, and they have to organize all of that, and that can take a week or two to get all those things and get your judges. And a lot of times we do multiple judges for each category. So, I myself in Southern Region would have 3 different judges judge each group that way, and then we would combine all 3 scores and then tally them up for an average score. And that way, because one judge might see something that another judge doesn't see, and it gives the students more opportunity to advance. And so that does take time. So Thanksgiving was when I usually did it. I will get those up on the website when they have been posted to me, those dates for you. Any other questions? No? Okay, well, we're going to wrap up. I thank you all for joining us. Again, if you have questions that come up, feel free to email me, and I will get back to you just as quickly as possible. Thanks for joining us. Have a great evening.